Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into the complex, historical, and honestly deeply spiritual roots of a holiday that, for millions around the world, sparks immense joy. But, for many others, it brings a quiet, lingering pain. We're going to look past the greeting cards and the brunch reservations to unpack the profound, generation-shaping power of motherhood, as seen through the lens of ancient history, biblical texts, and real human experience. Let's get right into it. We're going to start with a surprising paradox that completely flips how we usually think about this day. Anna Jarvis, she's the very woman who actually founded Mother's Day in America. She campaigned tirelessly to get it recognized. But did you know she actually tried to stop the holiday later in her life? Yeah, she actively protested against the very thing she created. And the reason why is incredibly revealing about human nature. There is just a stark contrast between Jarvis's original vision and what the day eventually became. You see, Jarvis originally envisioned a day of sincere gratitude, a quiet, heartfelt reflection on a mother's immense sacrifices. Instead, she watched it morph into this pressure-filled, highly commercialized holiday. She felt like people were just buying flowers out of societal obligation and signing cards without truly speaking from the heart. She wanted a day of memory and genuine appreciation, absolutely not just a boom for business and marketing. Moving into our first major theme, faith begins at home, the blueprint of everyday life. Moving past all the commercialization, our source material looks at an ancient blueprint for character, starting with a quote from the Apostle Paul in the book of 2 Timothy. Paul is writing to a prominent historical young leader named Timothy. But get this, Paul doesn't credit Timothy's success to some prestigious academy or a massive religious event. He recognizes that before Timothy was ever a great leader, his faith was shaped by the everyday, ordinary examples of his grandmother, Lois, and his mother, Eunice. Their quiet faithfulness was literally the foundation of his historical impact. In this idea, it's heavily reinforced in the ancient book of Deuteronomy, which outlines that spiritual formation isn't just about structured religious programs. It's entirely woven into the mundane. Children learn by watching how parents react during hard times, how they speak to others, and just how they carry themselves. Faith and character are taught at the family dinner table, while walking down the street, and in the quiet routines of waking up and going to sleep. It's that everyday example that leaves an indelible mark. Which brings us to our next section, the power of persistence and the incredible legacy of Augustine. To really understand the generation-shaping impact of a mother's persistent prayers, we can look at the timeline of Augustine of Hippo. In his youth, Augustine completely rejected his family's faith. He lived a highly rebellious life, chasing worldly success, and honestly, many people completely gave up on him. But his mother, Monica? No way. She did not give up. For years, she prayed for him continually, often with tears, absolutely refusing to let go of hope. And eventually, Augustine experienced a massive moment of surrender. He gave his life to Christ and went on to become one of the greatest, most influential Christian readers and thinkers in history. It's the ultimate testament to a mother's relentless persistence. Next up, reflecting a greater love, the anatomy of motherhood. Interestingly, ancient texts like the book of Isaiah compare God's comforting love to a mother's love. The first defining trait here is sacrifice. Real love costs something, right? Before a mother even meets her child face to face, she is already sacrificing her bodily comfort, altering her schedule, and enduring pain. She works hard, quietly, often without any recognition at all, putting her child's needs far above her own. This reflects a divine, selfless love, a love that sacrifices for us before we even have the capacity to understand it, let alone return it. The second trait we see is understanding. Think about it. A baby cannot speak clearly, yet a mother just intuitively knows the difference between a cry of hunger, a cry of exhaustion, or a cry of pain. She notices the tiny things that literally everyone else misses. The source text beautifully points out that this perfectly mirrors a God who understands our unspoken pain and our confused, silent prayers, especially when we don't even have the words to explain what's hurting inside us. And the third trait is strength. There is a deep truth to the old saying that a woman may be weak, but a mother is strong. This perfectly illustrates how deep love provides incredible endurance. A mother becomes fiercely protective, keeping going even when she is running on fumes, quietly carrying incredibly heavy burdens for the sake of her children. That strength is entirely fueled by an enduring love. Now we need to cover something absolutely crucial. When Mother's Day hurts, holding space for grief. We have to acknowledge that this reality isn't joyful for everyone. The source material holds a deeply empathetic space for this, because, well, whether you're navigating the profound loss of a mother who has passed away, maybe managing a strained and painful relationship, carrying feelings of guilt, or dealing with the quiet heartbreak of being unable to have children, Mother's Day can be incredibly heavy. If this day brings you grief, the text offers a really gentle reminder you are not unseen today. Your pain is acknowledged and it is understood.
For those of you carrying that hurt, our explainer highlights a deeply comforting contrast. Every single earthly relationship, even the very best of human mothers, has weaknesses and flaws. I mean, no earthly parent is perfect. But the source reminds us that the absolute best of an earthly mother's love is merely a small, imperfect shadow of a flawless, divine love. A love that, according to the text, loves us completely, doesn't leave us when we fail, and never, ever abandons us when we are broken.
Our final section today, shaping the next generation, the ripple effect. It's so easy to feel like the mundane tasks of raising children are completely unappreciated, but there is an incredible ripple effect to ordinary faithfulness. It starts small. One praying mother changes a single life. That one changed life then goes on to transform an entire family. And that one faithful family eventually changes a whole generation. It's a really powerful reminder to parents that their daily, unseen routines, the endless cooking, the cleaning, the driving, the patiently repeating of advice over and over, they are never truly wasted. They are the exact tools being used to shape souls and ultimately shape history.
So I want to leave you with this provocative thought to ponder today. Take a moment and ask yourself, whose unseen, ordinary faithfulness made you who you are? And perhaps even more importantly, regardless of whether you are a biological parent or a mentor, whose life are you quietly shaping right now through your own ordinary faithfulness?